yesterday I happened to have a conversation with one of your team members, previous, right? He said, I had a CEO. There was a CEO that I had, the only CEO that I've seen, that would visit every single property in a portfolio twice a year. And he will take a notepad and he will take notes. He will do exterior inspections. He will check out the maintenance shop. He will do all of that. And then he will come back 6 months later, and based on the notes he took the last time, he would check on the progress. He found that important, like that activity, that important, that him as a CEO took the time to walk and go through that exercise twice a year and do follow-ups in person, not just sending someone. And I said, wow, that's amazing. And he said to me, by the way, do you know who that was? And he mentioned your name. How important is for an executive that's, the very top person in an organization to be connected at the ground level. You mentioned the maintenance shops. This is where everything's at, right? If you don't have a clean, organized maintenance shop, you don't have game in property management at the site level. That's so important. And then when I think about it, I ask myself, how many leaders are doing that throughout their career to actually take the time and go check out the maintenance shop? And what is that story? What story does that maintenance shop tells them? The message that I want to ask you to share with us here is, how important was that exercise to take time out of your extremely busy schedule and go and physically inspect and take notes on exteriors, on a general appearance of properties, physical appearances twice a year?
I didn't have a more important job, Adrian. That was my job. There wasn't anything more important. And to carve out those, 4 weeks a year in the spring, we called it opening the properties. The winter's over. Let's get them ready. Let's get them open. Let's get them show ready for the big leasing surge. And then we would do capital tours in August and September. And those 2 months that I dedicated to traveling all over the United States doing that wasn't an obligation. That was my duty and responsibility. And the thing I wanted to do is I wanted to know everyone's name on site. I wanted to know something personal about each person so that I could communicate with them one-on-one, so that they would open up to me and share what they were learning and share what they were experiencing. Because sometimes we make decisions in a white box in Chicago or Washington, D.C. or wherever that's going to be, and we make those decisions, but we don't understand what the ramifications are all the way down through the company, from the housekeeper to the accounting individuals, which is another huge heartbeat of a company, the accounting. I love those people. There's just nothing more important than knowing everyone by name and visiting them and sitting down with them and talking about how decisions that I was making may be positively impacting them or negatively impacting them. And I couldn't get that from the vice presidents or the SVPs or the EVPs. I needed to hear it myself. And by knowing everyone's name, they were more open and willing to share with me the good and the bad. One of the things that you need to learn when you are leading an organization, that 50% of the people are going to like you and 50% aren't going to like you, and you need to listen to both sides. Because if you don't, then you're not going to do well, and your company's not going to achieve what it possibly could. And we've achieved some pretty sizable things at the organization.